Welcome to episode 220 of the Campus Comics Cast as we dig deep, and I mean very deep, to try to find anything worth talking about in the October pre-orders catalogs. This is Scott Reed, and I'm joined by
Mike Atchison.
And I joke every once in a while about this may be the shortest episode of the Campus Comics Cast ever, and this one is going to be in that window of being the shortest Campus Comics Cast episode ever. So I just do not have a lot of new books to talk about. So what about you, Mike?
I think we've talked before we started recording more about why it's going to be so short than what we'll actually than the time we'll spend talking about the content. Yeah,
exactly. Yeah, it's crazy. It's just, and I think what I've decided is that this is the October, so stuff that's in December is when it's supposed to ship, but really the window for getting things out for Christmas would have been the September catalog. And then last month was probably the first month where we had like all of the holdouts from Diamond getting in one of the catalogs. So I think last month there was a lot more to talk about, and now that they've solicited everything that they didn't get solicited through Diamond, now it's back to kind of what maybe normal is going to be. So I don't know. It's just crazy how little what there was that I felt worth mentioning. So
yeah, it's just the way it is. Maybe maybe it's just that lull that you were talking about.
Yeah. So all right. Well, you just want to dive in, or you got anything you want to talk about first?
No, I think we can dive right in.
All right. Well, my first thing is we're in the Next Phase catalog, and I'm on page 8.
Okay, right there with you, sir.
Oh, okay. Well, on page 8, we have a new book from Terry Moore called Trigger Warning. Now, this is actually a Strangers in Paradise story because it's Katchu and Francine, but they're in the Old West, which I don't know if that means we're going to have a time travel story. And I have, after looking at this, because it's only the one-page solicit, and there is no order number, which also makes me think that this might just be a preview for something we're going to be ordering in a month or two.
Yeah.
But it is from Terry Moore's Abstract Studio. But yeah, there's no catalog number or anything here, or even a date of when this is going to be hitting the shelves. So.
But it did its job for me because I did pause when I've seen the image. It's full-page image of what I presume will be the cover, and it's that great Terry Moore art. And yeah, it's doing its job in giving us a little bit of a warning or a heads up. Be on the lookout for this when it does become available for order. It's only it's like a 32-page story, $5.99. So not a huge investment in time or money.
Have you read Strangers in Paradise?
No, but I have the next best thing. I possess the full thing. It's over there waiting
in the to-read pile,
in the to-read pile, as well as Parker Girls Omnibus. I'm sure I have. I've got some overlap.
Do you have 5 years? What about 5 years?
No, I don't have that.
No. Okay. What about Serial?
No, don't have that.
Nope. Okay. All right. So the only one that I really want to read of Terry Moore's that I haven't yet is Serial. I wasn't a big fan of Strangers in Paradise, and there's a Kids in Paradise or Stranger Kids, or I can't even remember what it is. That he also did. And I have not dipped my toes into that yet. But I'm still Motor Girls #1, Rachel Rising is #2. The rest of the stuff is okay,
And those are the only two I've read of his, and I really liked Motor Girl. I think we all did when we covered it.
That's the best thing that he's done as far as I'm concerned. So
yeah.
Okay. My next thing is not until page 23.
Okay, go right ahead.
Oh, okay. All right. Well, I was hoping you would have something so I could.
Well, I do, I do, but it's the same as you so far.
Oh, well then I'll let you take this one since I kind of steamrolled the first one. So.
Well, I mean it's okay. It's from AWA. And I had a feeling you would maybe pick this one as well. It's called Aggie which stands for Aggregated Human Experience Database. It is the next installment in the science fiction anthology series from Futurific Studios, which comes from PBS's A Brief History of the Future. So it's written by Mark Russell, penciled by, I have no idea how to say it, ACO, maybe you just say, inked by David Lorenzo, and basically it's like a virtual reality type deal, and it's come to dominate life in the near future. So another like near future sort of technology that could be the end of all humankind. So we get a lot of that dark storytelling in these Prototopias collection.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I've read several of these now. In fact, I just read, what was the last one that I got in? And I can't put my hand on it immediately. But the downside of these is that the stories do not, like, they're not a cohesive story. It's just a bunch of kind of one-shots that are future thinking. So there's not really that real strong tie. There's nothing that really that ties them together other than the fact that they're part of the Prototopias anthology series. So it's that to me has been a little bit of a disappointment. If I don't know, maybe something will come along that will tie them together, but it would be nice to know that's going to happen now, because I'm actually thinking about jumping off on this series because they haven't like blown me away. They're interesting, but they're not just knocking my socks off.
Well, so far my experience with AI, I mean, because Aggie is an AI that is in the story achieves sentience. So far, my experience with real life AI and its hallucinations and inaccuracies gives me no concern for AI taking over yet.
Yeah.
I mean, I was just doing doing a synopsis on East of West. So I try to do the AI version and just to see how it would read. And if you've read East of West, one of the main characters is Death, and he has this all white sort of Western suit with the bolo tie and all that. But the AI describes him in an all black Western suit. I'm like,
okay.
We're literally talking black and white difference. So
Yeah. Oh yeah.
so yeah, I'm not too worried yet.
Okay. I don't really have anything until DC at this point, so.
Yeah, same here.
Oh
I'm
wow. Okay.
decent. Yeah, and it's not like I didn't spend some time. There are times where I'm like rushing because I waited too long to start looking things up, but this time I had good 2 or 3 hours to go through all the catalogs, and yeah. So I've got page 110.
110. I'm not for sure what page I have because this is a listener suggestion. So
Oh,
you go ahead with 110, and then I'll chime in when I can find it.
okay. Well, I'm not getting other than that. I think they got the first DCKO last. It was in the last month's solicitation. I think I ordered it, but I'm only mentioning this DCKO book. It's Superman versus Redacted, and there's it's just I'm using it to represent all of the rounds throughout the month have this redacted, and there's no hint at all. I mean, I think they're really counting on people to buy just to find out who the opponent is. Nothing really. I was hoping they'd give like a because the image is inside the letters DCKO. And like in this first one with Superman, you just see Superman in pieces. But if they just maybe even would show a glimpse
Or a glove, or
just to make it fun to figure out and go, oh, that's Blue Beetle. Yeah, I'm gonna pick that up. Because no, you don't even get that. So it's not much better than those old what were those little package deals at Walmart of comics where you got three comics,
3-pack, and you could see two of them, but the third one you didn't know what it was.
Right. It's not much different than that. So.
Yeah, I have zero interest in this whole KO series, and they're not helping themselves. Plus, there's just too many issues.
I have yet to really see something that is exclusively about those matchups. Like Countdown was like that. Yeah, it was kind of part of a larger story, but the Countdown Arena, it but this is just out of the blue. And you could even
Yeah.
say, well, Secret Wars was that, or any of the Battle World stuff. But they had a story to go along with it, not just
Yes.
just the pure thing that all we're soliciting in here is one character fighting another, which
Yeah. It's really just like Bloodsport or something like that because there's no. It's not like the good guys versus the bad guys. You've got good guys fighting good guys, and
yeah,
yeah, it's just nonsense to me. So.
yep. Okay.
It's like they're like the 10-year-old who's writing in. It's like, well, who would win a fight between Thing and Hulk? Or that's yeah, that does not does. I've grown past that, I guess. So
All right, you want to talk about what Michael has
yeah.
for us?
Okay, so Michael wanted to throw out there on page 120, we got Absolute Batman number 15. And he wanted to mention this because this will be the first appearance of the Ultimate, or excuse me, not Ultimate, that's Marvel, the Absolute Joker in the Absolute universe. So there you go. Absolute Batman 15, first appearance of Absolute Joker. And then I guess I'll go ahead and throw out on page 122, just so I have something to talk about. Absolute Wonder Woman 15 is the first team up between Absolute Batman and Absolute Wonder Woman. So I guess that's the first time that they have crossed paths in the Absolute universe.
I did sort of pause on both of those, especially that one with the first appearance of the Absolute Joker. But since I'm not right now reading Absolute Batman
Mm-hmm.
and I've only read the first issue of Absolute Wonder Woman, I thought, well, I'm not jumping in right now. When it's all collected or all on the app, I may catch up sometime.
You know what? We were talking before we recorded about what we should do for our next episode.
Hmm.
And maybe we should read the first Absolute Batman, the first Absolute Wonder Woman, the first Absolute Superman. What do you think? I'm just going to throw that out there on the
Yeah,
spot right
yeah,
now.
yeah,
All
yeah.
right.
The first
Okay.
comic, the first
The
issues.
first issue. Just the
Yeah.
first issues. Just the
Okay.
first issue. So the
But look,
big three, the DC Trinity, the Absolute Trinity, read their first issues, and
okay,
then let's talk about what we think about them.
okay, sure.
All right. Okay. We're doing it. All right.
Locked in.
We'll lock in. So that will replace the what we've been reading portion of the episode.
Okay. Oh,
Okay. All right.
yep.
We'll still do the other thing we talked about.
Okay.
Since you've apparently spent money on that, so
Oh, well, it's just in my it's
I
just
just
in
still in the
my
cart.
cart
Okay,
right
all
now.
right.
Yeah.
Well,
But
then
but since I maybe since our theme is always first five, maybe we should pick two other characters to round it out for the first five absolute characters
absolute titles. Okay,
titles. Yeah.
so you'll have to figure out who the other two
Okay.
absolute characters. Was it Martian Manhunter?
Probably
And
Martian Manhunter and Flash or Green
Flash?
Lantern. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well. Okay.
I'll let you tell me. So.
All right. Sounds good. Let's see. I think I'm at 132 on my end.
Yeah, I actually do not have anything else in DC. So.
Well, what I have left in DC is more just a point of note. Whether I get it or not is still up in the air. The first one on page 132 is Harley Quinn 200. So Harley Quinn hits the 200th issue. Honestly, I don't know if this is really does she really have that many issues in a row consecutively, or is this one of those combinations of several titles? I
This is like
think.
the Rebirth and the New
Yep.
52 and
Yep.
yeah, all those combined to get to the
Yep.
200. And
Yes.
whether or not they're counting like Mad Love or anything like that,
Right.
who knows?
Right.
But,
So
yeah.
that's a hard no for me then, if that's the case, because I
Mhm.
don't really normally pay attention to those issues. So then the other two items I have to talk about. The next is on page 145, and it is the facsimile edition of one of the limited collector's editions, and it is Christmas with the Superheroes. It's Limited Collector's Edition number 42. It's the one where Superman has a sleigh full of other characters, including Santa, Batman, Batman, Wonder Woman, Kane from House of Mystery, and then believe it
Oh.
or not, Sandman and Sandy. So there must be a Christmas story from one of those old adventure comics. So I have this, as you might
The original.
expect. Yeah, but I'm always tempted to get these newer facsimiles just because I love not having a place to put it. You
Oh,
know.
okay. I tell you what, I just got in my was it New Fun Comics
Oh,
facsimile? Did you
yeah.
get that one?
I
I did
already
not
had.
realize that that was treasury size.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, I hate it already.
I have the hardcover. Why they resolicited it as a soft cover, I don't know, because they came out in like as like anniversary, whatever, some anniversary deal with that. Maybe it was, but I know the hardcover came out a couple years ago, and it
Okay.
was treasury size. I got it just for because I don't obviously don't have the original,
Right.
so uh,
But it wasn't that large originally though, was it?
no, no, it was
Okay,
like
but
typical
see, I thought
golden age
well, see,
comic
I thought
size.
this was a just a facsimile of the original, but it's yeah,
No,
it's newspaper size.
it's
It's just like,
huge.
geez,
Yeah,
yeah. Okay, all right, moving on.
yeah. And then the last thing I have in DC is, and maybe we've talked about this, have we? The Crisis on Infinite Earths, the latest Absolute edition. It's basically what makes it different. It's on sale. It's not on sale until May of next year. But what they're saying is different is that they're using it's remastered from Jerry Ordway's original inks and original artwork provided
Okay,
by fans across the world. So I just feel like we talked about this at one point.
maybe.
Yeah, so I don't have an absolute of really anything in my collection. If I'm going to have something, it probably would be Crisis. And yeah, so I've got a couple versions of Crisis already, so I wouldn't, you know, uh, for $125, do I really want to spend that kind of money? I don't
Yeah,
know, but
yeah.
it is tempting right now. So
Okay.
that's all I have for DC.
Yeah, it's not, and I've got. Let's see, I don't have anything in Dynamite either. So like, I'm up to page 245.
Well, great, because I'm at 246. You go right ahead.
246. Okay, well I gotta scroll to it. So let me actually type in the page number here. See, I was hoping you would have a few things so I could be scrolling through and maybe find something else
Oh,
worth talking about. But
well,
and I typed in 254 instead of 245, which explains why I didn't get to the right page. So on to page 245. This is from um, execution posse whatever, which is actually
Holdings.
just Keen Spot.
Hmm.
Yeah. So this is the next issue in the Monster and the Wolf series from Mark Spears. I thought that was just a one shot, so that's actually the only reason why I'm bringing it up. But it is a three issue prequel. So they were so focused on talking about the blind bag, I think, on the first issue that they forgot to mention that it was a 3-issue series.
Oh,
So issue 2 is the second issue of the 3 issues from Mark Spears. You said you had 246.
yeah. I just that cover though of that monster and the wolf is something else. That is the
Oh,
look on that guy's face. It's so good.
Igor's, yeah.
Yeah.
I assume that's Igor. Yep.
Yeah, yeah, right. So yeah, 246 is again Mark Spears, and it's his entire Monsters Volume One. It's 144 pages for $40 if you want to get the hardcover, which I probably will because I want something on the shelf that I can just pick up and just look at the artwork and read the stories. I think I got one of his issues over the past year or so that's come out, these monster issues, but I think I'd like to just get the entire collection. So I think I have enough money in my budget since I don't have much else on this list that
On
I
this
can
list, there you go.
get this hardcover.
Well, the soft cover is only 19.99.
Yeah, but like I said, sometimes I'm like I don't
You
want
just
to.
want the hardcover? Okay,
Yeah,
all right.
yeah.
Yeah, and it's got to be exclusive to the direct market for 3 months. So before
Mhm.
you'd be able to buy this like at a Barnes and Noble or something. So
Right. Right.
that
Good
is
point.
something. It is something. And I think that's the actual cover from the Free Comic Book Day issue, which is basically the same cover as issue number 1. It
Mhm.
just has a greenish background instead of a bluish background. So
Oh, okay.
let's see. I'm 276. I'm in Image now.
Okay. Still you.
Still me. Wow. Okay. So you weren't kidding. When I thought I didn't have very much, you also do not have very much. So, all right. So I have to just mention this because it's Kyle Starks, and he only lives like an hour or so from me. So he's a nice guy. Loves talking comics. So he's got a new 5-issue series at Image called Wrestle Heist. So it's basically, I guess, some type of a heist story set in a wrestling environment. Now, I'm going to struggle to order this one because I'm just not a wrestling fan, but it is Kyle Starks, so I don't know. I'm still kind of up in the air, but I'm more apt to order it because he's actually doing the interior art as well, not just writing on this one. So I am probably going to pick it up. His art style is, I mean, I would definitely describe it as very cartoony, um, but I'm not saying that in a negative way. It's not like the hyper realism that you would get from like a Burn or something like that. You know,
Mm-hmm.
it's more about storytelling than being realistic. So, um,
You
but
know
it
you
is
want
its
to.
own thing.
You know you want to say it. You can say it.
I'm not going to. No,
Oh,
I'm
okay.
not going to
All
say
right.
it. So, um, but so because he is drawing and writing, I am probably going to buy this.
Yeah.
So again, it's Wrestle Heist 5 issue series by Kyle Starks from Image.
All right.
Then
I'm
I'm on
on.
282.
Still you.
Still me. Okay, all right. So now this is something that I'm just pointing this out for the oddities. I've stopped buying these artist editions a long time ago because they're huge and they're expensive, and I don't really have a place to display them. So if they're not going to be out and displayed, I don't want to. I don't want them. So this is the Amazing Spider-Man by Steve Ditko artist edition, and what kind of the reason why I'm teetering back and forth on this one is it's my understanding that Ditko did not sell or do anything with his original art, and there are stories of him actually using the backs of his original art as scratch paper and to make notepads and stuff.
Oh.
So a lot of that was destroyed. So if they legitimately have been able to piece together 4 issues of between Amazing Fantasy and Amazing Spider-Man of Ditko's original art, that's pretty impressive.
Mm-hmm.
So if you this is an advanced solicit, this is not coming out until, does it even say? I
May
guess it doesn't even
6th.
say.
May
May 6th.
6th.
Okay, thank
Mm-hmm.
you. All right. So this is way out there in the future. But it is something if you are a huge Ditko fan and if you want to see if they, were actually able to build this from all original art or if they've got the little notes. Like I just read the graphite edition of Destroyer Duck. And while they were able to get most of Kirby's pencils, it's like the last half of issue 5 is basically just scans from the book because they weren't able to track those down. So, um, so yeah, this was just kind of a surprise that it was Ditko with an artist edition.
Well, if you want to plunk down $200 for it,
Yeah,
and you also have to plunk down that 125 on that Crisis Absolute, yeah, you
yeah.
might as well
There you
just
go.
just go ahead and earmark. You got till May to save up. You
It's
know,
it's just
right?
money.
It's just money. You can't take it with you.
No.
Uh,
All right.
do you want me to give
I
you
got
the?
one. I got one more thing in Image, but I don't know what page it's on. So why don't you? Are you
Okay.
still in Image?
Yeah, it's way at the end. It's 336.
Okay. I'm trying to find. Well, let's see. So Gunslinger Spawn. Just this is another suggestion from Michael Cathro. Just hit issue 50. So it's solicited in here somewhere, and I cannot find it. But Gunslinger
Oh,
Spawn hits issue 50.
I seen it.
So
Yeah.
yeah, I know I saw it as well. I'm searching for it. I see Deadly Tales of Gunslinger Spawn, but I don't see actual Gunslinger Spawn. So why don't you go ahead and I'll see if I can find it.
Okay. On page 336, this is just me in my being loyal to the creator named Doug Wagner, famous for Plastic and some of those other horror slash humor comics. He's got the collection of I Was a Fashion School Serial Killer comes out as a trade paperback, and it's got a great Jay Lee cover. So you know, I've enjoyed his work, and I got the original issue, so I may not get this collection, but if you have missed the originals, I highly recommend this.
Yeah, and Gunslinger Spawn 50 is on page 200. and 68 in the catalog.
Oh, there it is. Yep.
There it
Okay.
is. All right. All right, here's my big jump. I don't have anything till page 513.
You're still ahead of me.
Wow. Okay. All right. So, okay, I'm going to preface this by saying I am a cybersecurity instructor. Right. I like teaching cybersecurity. I like playing around with this stuff. So I have like literally the first thing when I get my shipment in every month, the first book that I pull out and read is The Future Is. So this is from Recca Publishing, and if you're clever, you will read Recca backwards to find out where that name comes from. But this is issue number 8, and another thing that's cool, and what it is, it's a futuristic, not so distant futuristic cybersecurity, like a red team that goes in and they basically are like Robin Hood red teaming to, help the poor against the powers that be. It has been very, very enjoyable through the first several issues, and they actually, and I think I maybe said this last month, but they do this little hacking challenge in each one where they give you a little, online test that you can kind of try to work your way through, see if you can get to what they call a flag. So it's this little built-in capture the flags. But a second thing that's cool, which is why I'm actually talking about this, is that they are actually selling issue number 8 to retailers in bundles of 10 for $10. So even though the cover price is $404, most of the time retailers are paying $202 to get that book, and they're actually going to do 10 packs for $1.
Oh, nice.
And they have, I don't know if it's still up or not, but there is a Kickstarter associated with a hardcover for issues 2 through 7. So if it hasn't ended already, it will be ending very, very soon. And to tie into that, on the very next page, issue 514, this is the Volume 1 Black Mountain trade paperback. This was the first Kickstarter issue. So even though it says Volume 1, it actually is just the first issue that was part of a Kickstarter. And what's cool about it is that its retail price is only going to be $9.99 for 288 pages. So you can kind of get in late and cheap if you want, because I think that the Kickstarter was, well, the first issue was $13.37 originally. So now they have the Volume 1 for $9.99. So one thing I like about what they're doing is that they're making a push to support retailers. So that's why they're doing the things like the 10 copies for $10, and they're encouraging people to order from a local shop. And they list every month which shops are carrying that particular issue. So if somebody wants to go find them, they can. So I just like what they're doing. It's just the one title, but if you have any interest in cybersecurity at all, it's a good story too. So.
Well, I like Fred Van Lente, and I like the J. Lee covers. I can't place D'Alessandro as an artist. Can you tell me, is that good art, this Mario D'Alessandro's?
I like it. It's definitely very good for the material, and you can see some preview of it on page 515. So I think it's very solid.
Yeah.
And I'm looking to see if Mario. Yeah. So I've got issue 5 sitting right here on the desk beside me, and he is still the artist in issue 5. So yes, I think the art is very good.
Well, count me in then. I got room, like I said, in my budget. So.
All right. So my next thing is 587.
My next thing is 590.
Okay. All right. So 587. Actually, this is just kind of a warn you off, because if you're like me and you see Black Mirror, you're like, oh, I want to get that. All right. Well, unfortunately, this is from Twisted Comics. It's Black Mirror USS Callister, and this is like the Star Trek ripoff issue or episode from this series. But all they are doing here is adapting the story. So this is not a new story. This is just an adaptation of the TV show. They had done a Black Mirror free comic book day, and I was excited to get that, but it was also just an adaptation of one of the episodes. So I was hoping for new material kind of set either adjacent to one of the stories in the Black Mirror universe, but no, these so far are just adaptions. So I'm not a big fan of comic book adaptions for the most part. So
Yeah. Yeah.
so I'm staying away from it. Just want to make sure everybody who thinks about ordering it knows that it is an adaptation and not for real.
So before we go to what I have on the next couple pages, I wanted to ask you, as I mark this down, this future is, what publisher does that fall under? Is it, it's since it was
it's their own. So
it's
it's
their own
Rekka. Yeah, so it's Rekka,
Recca? Oh,
Rekkcah. So yeah, so they're their own publisher. It's the only book that they have. But they
gotcha.
are doing a combination of Kickstarter, um, um, comic store distribution.
Yeah. Okay.
So
Awesome. All right. 590 is tomorrow's section, and I both Alter Ego and, which is on 591, the next page, and back issue, I plan on getting this month. The back issue is issue 165, and it's the Rivals issue. So it's going to feature pair ups of like the Kree Skrull War, Superman and the Flash races, the Thing and the Hulk battles, even Archie Andrews and
yeah,
Reggie Mantle.
the
So,
most cosmic of them all.
yeah. So that seems, actually, that's more interesting to me than DCKO. So
Yeah. Yes.
these seem more fun. And the Alter Ego issue 198 is a focus on H.G. Peter, which was, of course, the original artist on Wonder Woman. Some say the co-creator, and definitely a unique style. And I'm sure that there will be some interesting facts in that issue. And then I want to bring up, on the subject of tomorrows, I shared this with Scott in the last week or so, but I received an email from John Morrow of Tomorrows, and it's basically a an outreach. They are asking for help to recoup its diamond losses. Basically, Diamond owes Tomorrow's $65,000 for unpaid products since December of 2024, and they are 100% certain they'll never get paid for that. In the interim, they're trying to absorb that and still pay their printer and their shipping costs and all that. So it's really tough, because this is one publisher that I would and did donate a bit to. Now, if you donate as much as $50, you get advance items that are mailed directly to you if they're not sold out already. So you may search online if you're interested in supporting them in some way. I know there's a lot of folks in our generation, especially, they're comics fans that really like their products, not just the monthly issues of Back Issue and Alter Ego, but their special focus books like the Marshall Rogers and the Dave Stevens books. So there's a lot there to be, a lot of impetus to support them, if you so choose.
So I had opened up their page previously, and there was, oh, okay, there it is. So apparently now Jerry Conway, I assume it's the Jerry Conway.
Yeah.
All right, made a $100 donation, and his message, because they on the right hand side they're printing all these messages. Help is on the way. F Diamond. But
Yeah.
but what I think is interesting is that Tomorrow's gives some like hard dollar amounts. So
Yeah.
Diamond has kept $65,000 of their product, and here's the Diamond math as they refer to it. So $57 million Diamond bankruptcy sales price. 44.7 million is what they owe to Chase for operating capital loans. Then they have at least $15 million in legal fees, which leaves them at a negative 2.7 million as part of the bankruptcy. So even after the bankruptcy, they've got $2.7 million and growing that they have to come up with, even having sold for $57 million. So
Yeah.
so
Well,
Diamond is a mess. Yeah.
yeah. I wonder how that how that hits Geppy himself, or how
Yeah.
if he'll come out of it unscathed.
I can't imagine it was a sole proprietorship. I have to think it was
Yeah.
a corporation. So,
Yeah.
yeah, he probably won't be harmed too terribly much and probably had a bit of a golden parachute.
Sure.
So, but
I,
yeah, but they have raised of the 65,000, they're over $11,000 in what they raised. But unfortunately, they're down to 2 issues now that you can get advanced copies of. Back
yeah.
issue 164 and Cryptology number 7. So,
Yeah. And if it's, I mean, it's still worth throwing a couple bucks their way, even if you
oh
can't
yeah.
get that advanced copy. Yep.
Okay, I am finished with next phase.
Same here.
Okay, all right. So moving on to the always confusing panels catalog.
And I put extra effort in this month to try to correlate page numbers and I found a page number for everything. What I do is, because some of these PDFs are a bit unwieldy,
Mm-hmm.
so I just open up individual catalogs and then I'll search for them in the big catalog and earmark
Okay.
the page number. So that's what I did with, Boom and Dark Horse and all of those
And I
IDW.
probably should do that. 'Cause I know there were a couple things in the Marvels catalog that I either missed or weren't in the big panels catalog.
Yeah.
But yeah. So all right. So I'm on page 7.
Okay. Whoops. Let me switch. You go right ahead.
All right, so we have Carmen Redcraw, Belly of the Beast. So this is issue number 1. This is going to be a 4-issue series, also suggested by Michael Cathro, and it is basically set in the Hellboy universe, but in the 1870s. So what we have is a paranormal Western adventure. Again, set in the 1870s. So I am intrigued by this book, and since it's only 4 issues, I am probably going to give it a shot. I've not read a lot of things from the Hellboy universe, other than like when we did our first 5 for Hellboy, and just a few other ancillary issues. I've definitely watched more Hellboy movies than I've read Hellboy comics.
Yeah.
So I think I'm gonna give this one a shot, just because of one, I've been enjoying some Western stuff lately.
Yeah,
So
you're in your Western phase.
I guess
Yeah.
so. So I always wondered, like, whenever I was as being a comic collector, well, whoever would want to buy Western comics? And now I'm starting to understand. Okay, maybe I'm the kind of person who would have been buying Western comics if they'd been the mainstay whenever I was that age. So, but they gotta have a little bit of they gotta have a little something with them. So I'm not just straight Western,
Yeah.
so far. So,
Well,
so yeah,
yeah.
definitely Carmen Redclaw. So.
Yeah, it looks pretty good. I must have missed it somehow. But in looking at it, I just realized I should have marked down on the preceding page we have under Boom. This is on page 6 in the main panels catalog, but it's a Boom production. It's Briar Knight's Terror. So this is basically the beginning of the end of Christopher Cantwell's comic, Briar. I collected that 5 or so issue series about a year ago, and this is sort of a sequel, but it's also the conclusion to it. So I think it's just just a normal one book, 1 issue story for $5. It's sort of a set, like a fantasy sort of fairy tale in more violent modern day.
All right. I'll go ahead and mention this one just because I stumbled across it as I was scrolling through. We have from Marvel. This is on page. I just saw it. Page 12, The End 2099, issue 1. So this is just a. What is it? How many issues does it even say? It doesn't say that I can find anyway. So it's just a quote unquote end story for the 2099, which apparently is a tie-in with the Age of Apocalypse books that are going on, and they talk about a null infected Galactus. So, as the devourer in black descends upon the world. So, there you go.
Yeah.
What happens? You got your null in my Galactus. No, you got your Galactus in my null. Um, there you go. So, multiverse spanning crossover. I'm not buying it, but I figure somebody might want to.
Yeah, what caught my eye is I had it marked down as well. It's got a Steve Orlando script. I've always liked his work, and the art, the cover design and art is by David Marquez. I love his work. Of course, it's only the cover, but um, I don't know Ibrahim Roberson. I'm not sure. I'm not sure what his art's like, but I probably won't necessarily pick it up. But it was worth noting, as you just did.
I'm on page 43.
I'm still behind you then.
Okay, all right. So page
Oh, nope, nope.
43.
Sorry,
Oh,
sorry,
nope.
sorry.
Okay.
Well, it depends on the cat. So that's okay. I don't know if we've said this before, but the challenge is the panels catalog sometimes doesn't feature everything that's in the individual catalog. So
Right.
this doesn't have a page number. It's actually in the Marvel's previews. So
Okay.
it's Doctor Strange #1, and I'm gonna pull it up. It was on page number 28 in the Marvel book, the Marvel catalog, and it's I guess it's a new, it's a good jumping on point. Maybe he's now his storyline is going to have him set in Asgard. He's whatever chance at redemption he had, his revenge against Doom must not have panned out, and now he's there in Asgard doing Stephen Strange things. So
Yeah. So he had a 5 or 6 issue series, Doctor Strange of Asgard, that concluded, and that is going to tie in. I'll just go ahead and jump ahead to what's on page 56, and I'll come back to 43. But
okay,
on 56, you have a new series called Sorcerer Supreme,
hmm
issue #1, and with the end of One World Under Doom. Of course, Doom is ultimately defeated. Okay, and with Stephen Strange now being the Sorcerer Supreme of Asgard, who does that leave to be the Sorcerer Supreme of Earth? And you have like a cover with lots and lots of various magicians and non-magicians. So like I'm looking at Magic and Scarlet Witch, but then you also have Storm and lots of other characters here on the cover, some of whom would make sense as potential Sorcerer Supreme, and some of them would not make sense as Sorcerer Supreme, depending upon your view. Now, if I were a betting individual, I would be putting my money that the next Sorcerer Supreme of Earth would probably be Magic, who is the Colossus's sister, and has the connection with Limbo.
hmm
But hers is more of a, like Scarlet Witch is more of a mutant power type of a magic than it is a actual sorcerer magic. I am just going to say that the person who should and would technically deserve to be Sorcerer Supreme would be Clea, just because she was the Sorcerer Supreme previously
yeah.
when Stephen Strange was dead and then came back. But since she's already, they've already told those stories, I assume that they're going to tell stories with somebody else. So
Magic's the one with the big magic sword.
yeah,
Yep. Okay.
yep, and she's there on the cover.
Yep.
Along with, I didn't zoom in to look at who all the various characters were, but now here's my ghost pick, or maybe that's not the right phrase there.
hmm
Um, Dark horse pick. There we go. That's what I should actually say. So, and from a previous storyline, there was a what they called the War Strange, who was a Doctor Strange personality that got involved with a 1,000-year war. Um, from one of his patrons, and I can't remember which one it was. There's a set of 3 of them, but anyway,
Yeah.
that character has been kind of locked away, at least as far as I know, in the Sanctum Sanctorum. So we could also get a situation where they're going to have 2 Stephen Strange. One, the War Strange, would be on Earth, and the traditional Doctor Strange would be in Asgard. So
Yeah.
anyway, so I'm kind of curious what's going to happen here. I don't know that I will buy it, but I think I will for sure read it 3 months after this, whenever it hits the Marvel app.
Yeah.
All right, back to 43. Unless you got something else tied into Doctor Strange you want to talk about.
No, I don't.
Okay. So we have the second issue of 1776. I thought that was just going to be a one shot, because
Yeah, me too.
it was J. Michael Straczynski. They didn't say anything about it being an ongoing or a limited series. But now we have a second issue, also written by J. Michael Straczynski, art by Sean Damian Hill. So I thought, oh, they're going to continue what they've been doing with these other JMS books, where they have a different artist on every single issue. So it's JMS writing, different artists, and they're going to continue that. So my guess now is this is going to be 5 issues. But in the Marvel catalog, they actually say that it's illustrated by Ron Lim and Sean Damian Hill. So I don't know what to think as far as the artist or what's going to happen there. But I think I ordered the first issue thinking it was a one shot. I may or may not. I guess since I have the first issue, I probably should go ahead and order the second issue.
Mm-hmm.
So I'll probably go ahead and continue it. But I do feel a little fooled.
It's sometimes I wonder if it's not by design. I mean, first it was, well, we don't. It's a mini series in their head. They, in their mind, they're thinking something's going to be a mini series, but they don't tell us. And then when it ends, it ends. Or the other way around. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm leaning towards this being a way how Penguin Random House does their stories, or their solicits, because I'm looking at all of them, like some of them that I know are limited series, like the Daredevil and Punisher issue number 2, which is coming up here in a few pages. Nowhere in that solicit does it say 2 of 5 or whatever it is.
Yeah.
So I just don't think that Penguin Random House is including that it's limited series in any of their solicits at all. So,
man, they got work to do.
Yeah, it's not a great catalog, that's for sure. So,
I have something that's, again, I couldn't find it in the main panels catalog, but it is in the Marvel catalog. It's on page 10 of the Marvel's catalog. It's Ultimate Endgame. Did you have that marked down by chance?
I did not know.
So this is a 5-issue series that I guess is wrapping up some of the storylines in the Ultimate universe. So everything from Ultimate Spider-Man and Ultimate maybe Black Panther, I'm not sure. There's whatever stories that were being told, at least some of it's wrapping up. Whatever wrapping up means, it may be just temporary, but definitely got a great looking cover here. I know from our friend Matt that he's a big fan of the Ultimate Spider-Man series. I think I read in that solicit, which is in the other catalog on page 65, that issue 24 is meant to be its final issue. So maybe that part of the Ultimate story is what's ending.
Is ending, okay. All right. I guess I only have like one more thing, and I don't know what page it's on, so I'm gonna have to find it here. How much you got left?
I've got a couple things left.
Go ahead.
Going over to Dark Horse. We have on page 77 of the panels catalog. Sorry, let me get that typed in. And it is a Bernie Wrightson collection. It's Creepy Presents, and it's just a collection of Bernie Wrightson stories written by him. He's doing the art on the cover, but it's Bruce Jones. Or illustrated. It's written and drawn by him, but it's also got Bruce Jones with a byline. So this is basically the classic tales from the 1970s, whether it be from Warren Publishers or Warren Publishing or in any other publisher. It's some of his more famous work, and I'm looking to see what size it is or what the cost would be. But that's here it is. Down at the bottom, sorry, $25 on sale in February, and it's trade paperback size, which means I don't know how many pages it is. It just says trade paperback. So, yeah, I think that looks pretty good if you're a Wrightson fan especially, and it's hard to find anyone that just says I hate Bernie Wrightson's art.
Yeah. And if you did, they'd just be wrong.
Right? Yeah, that's it.
Yeah, yeah.
Then
Sometimes people are just wrong.
yeah. On the very next page is the Helen of Windorm Deluxe Edition. This is a story by Tom King. It's illustrated by Bilquis Evely. That's the team that did Supergirl, Woman of Tomorrow. Even the colorist Matthias Lopez is on this book, and this one's been an Eisner Award winner. Or the creative team are Eisner Award winners, and this has been getting really, really good reviews from people I've talked to, and I know that I actually have the hardcover already, but I'm just suggesting it to anyone else that may want to get it. It's from Dark Horse for $60, the hardcover, and it's on sale in February as well.
So my last thing is actually just a resolicit, but I'm going to go ahead and mention it anyway. On page, I got to close that. Page 70, they have the 2025 staff picks for graphic novels, and one of the staff have picked a book called Guilt Frame. This is by Matt Kent and Matt Kent's mother. So this has already been released. I've got my copy here in my hands, including, because I bought it straight from Matt Kent. It had some little bonus stuff, and it's signed by both his mother and he, so that's kind of a nice little bonus there on the book. But it's basically a mystery story. The Guilt Frame is apparently a type of chair frame, so it kind of ties into this collector, this nephew aunt collector pair. Anyway, it's pretty good. I enjoyed it. It's only 3 issues, but the hardcover's $30. I think it's worth it. It's got Matt Kent art throughout, since his his mother did the writing on the story. So I thought it was pretty good.
And my last thing is also it's a Boom Studio production. It's a trade paperback collecting the Last Boy series, written by Dan Panosian and illustrated by Alessio Avallone, and it's basically a Peter Pan epilogue story, and it's really good. This was like a surprise hit for me, and I don't know. I've got the books, the issues, but I'm thinking I'm going to get this as a collection to give to my granddaughter, the oldest one. I just think she would really enjoy this. In fact, she's played Peter Pan in a school play recently, so this might land really well for her. So it was a lot of fun. That's it for me.
That's it for you. All right. Well, my answer for the first question. Well, actually, let's go with what are you looking forward to, Mike? Is there anything in here, in this scraggly little amount that you are particularly looking forward to?
Well, to be quite honest, I wasn't when I started, but now I am because I wrote it down. I don't think it's fair for me to say trigger warning or any of these things that are like months away from coming. So I'm not going to say trigger warning. I'm not going to say the crisis absolute. I'm going to say the future is blank from from Fred Van Lente, because you described it really well, and it's somehow completely I don't think I've made a conscious decision to avoid it, but now I think I'm going to get that collection. I think that would be. I'm nothing like you. I don't know cyber tech. I just know enough to get myself in trouble. But I think it would be an interesting story.
Yeah, it's pretty good. Now that one volume is only technically one issue, so
right, yes.
Be advised that at least I think it's just the one issue. So, but it's like I said, it's an oversized. So
right.
I am at this point, what I'm looking forward to out of what we talked about the most is that Carmen Redclaw Belly of the Beast. I'm going to lock myself in for that 4-issue series, and it will probably be towards the top. Well, actually, I say it won't be at the top of my reading list whenever it comes in, because I'll wait for all 4 issues and then I'll read it. Sit down and read it in one sitting. So, or I might read the first issue and then read it all again, whenever the 4th issue comes out, unless it's just so good that I just can't wait.
Right.
Do you have anything that you would like to suggest as an investment pick? Because I do not. There is nothing in the catalog that I look at and say, "Oh, this is one." If you are buying just for the potential of financial gain, this is the one that you should get or take a risk on. And I'm just not seeing anything
Yeah.
that I would say is worth taking a financial risk on. So my answer is no. I don't have any investment picks this month.
I'm usually,
That pains me to say. So
yeah, nothing really has. I mean, it's just DC was, pretty much
all KO,
all
and
KO
absolute.
and
Marvel's all ultimate and
yeah,
Age of, and yeah.
yeah,
So there's just
yeah.
not a whole lot going on. So
I think I was thinking that absolute Batman eventually is, if that gains some traction, there might be something in the future that makes it, you know, maybe that
I
Joker
almost
issue,
well, that's what it is. Is the absolute Batman
yeah,
has that first absolute Joker.
yeah.
But I was thinking about that, and it's like, okay, to me, it's like one of my. I'll just use this as my complaint. All right, so like Gwen Stacy and Spider Gwen. You have the first appearance of Gwen Stacy, and then you have in Amazing Spider-Man 33, you have the first appearance of Spider Gwen in like Edge of the Spider-Verse 2 or something like that. All right, it is my opinion that the first appearance of Spider-Gwen is actually Amazing Spider-Man 33 because that's where Gwen Stacy first appears. So that is who becomes Spider-Gwen. So of those books, that should be the more valuable of the books, right?
Hmm.
Well, it is not the case with Spider-Gwen because Edge of the Spider-Verse is worth about 4 times what Amazing Spider-Man number 33 is worth, which seems backwards to me. Um, so I feel that same way with this absolute Joker appearance. It's like, you know what? This is just a Elseworld story.
It's just a
Of the
variant,
Joker.
yeah,
Yeah,
right.
it's just a variant. It's not, it's so I don't see it being worth any money. Now
They've had
if
so
I
many
if
in the movies. They've had so many different renditions of the Joker. This could be the next Joker.
yeah, yeah,
Then it would be
exactly.
something,
So
maybe worth something.
yeah,
Yeah.
or going back to New 52, now there aren't 3 Jokers, there's 4
Oh my
Jokers.
Lord.
It's
Yeah.
like, yeah.
My brain just exploded. Yeah.
Yeah.
Uh,
So there you go. So all right. Well, Mike, what do we got for episode? What will that be? 221.
221. Yeah, that episode we are going to cover like we said in this episode,
We
we are now
changed it. I
we
changed it.
changed
Yeah.
it. We are going to cover the first 5 absolute issues, DC characters that have an absolute storyline or issue. So we know for sure that the Trinity, Superman, Batman, and Wonder Woman, and we're thinking it's probably Flash and Martian Manhunter. Could be Green Lantern. I'll have to look and see, but it'll be
Yeah.
5 characters that had that first appeared as absolute in the DC universe.
All right. And also,
And also, we will do what we've been. I was thinking about the other characters in Absolute, but we will also be doing what we've been reading, or as we
oh,
call
is that
it.
what we're gonna do? Okay.
What? I
Because
thought that's what.
well,
Yeah.
because we were gonna do Savage Dragon. Do you
Oh,
still wanna
that's
do
the.
Savage Dragon. Or do you
Okay.
do what
Yeah,
you've
I
been
thought
reading?
that's what the Absolute was replacing. So
Oh no, no,
No,
Either-
we'll
either
do-
Way's,
let's
either
do-
way's fine with me. Either
let's
way's
do-
fine with me. You decide.
okay, first 5 of Savage Dragon because
Okay.
I've already committed to that financially somewhat.
Okay, there. That's what
Yeah.
I was thinking. So
Hey, folks, you guys have got to be so happy that me and Scott that we really get our stuff together before we
that's
record.
right. We are so
Yes.
prepared. Hey, we have notes for at least for comics, so that's something.
Right, right.
Yeah. Not very long notes this time, but we do have notes.
Yes.
So
There's something to be said for that.
that's right. All right. So, Mike, if somebody wanted to reach out to you besides podcast@birdcomics.com, and it would be nice to get some emails other than solicitations to improve our SEO. How might they do that?
Well, I'm going to, again, I'm going to say that you could be the second person that's written me on the Mike at Comic Shop Roadshow email account. That's Mike at comicshoproadshow.com. And if you do, you will be the happy winner of being mentioned on one of our episodes.
All right, I'm Scott Reed. You can find me at burgcomics.com, B-U-R-G comics.com, where there are links to my social media presence, including my comic book ad page. And we'll be back soon to talk about Absolute and Savage Dragon.
My list is pathetic.
Yeah, it's well.
So
okay,
it is,
well,
it is really bad.
I hope that's not a sign of the times. I don't have any.
I think it's just the time of this. I think we hit a lull like every year around this time.
Yeah,
You know,
I mean,
where it's too late for Christmas. You know, because this stuff is still coming out in December, but you know, it's not going to beat the Christmas rush.
Yeah.
So
nope.
yeah, I think last month we had a fair amount. So, but the catalogs were smaller this time too.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's like I know like AWA on mine was like in the 40s and it was in 23 in this catalog.
Oh
so,
yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, so there's just a lot less stuff. So I think last month might have been a catch up from new distributors, or new publishers coming in, getting in the catalog, getting everything that's hasn't been solicited since the whole diamond thing, and then now we're back to what's probably going to be the norm, or
Yeah.
a little less than the norm.
Yeah.
So.
It doesn't help that DC's event is crap.
Yeah,
Crap.
Yeah.
I mean, I have nothing in DC except for a couple. Well, I don't want to spoil it, but it's just
Yeah.
nothing. I mean, maybe I'll buy, but not like that's what I'm getting at. I don't have a investment pick. I don't have anything I'm really looking forward to.
I got one book I think I actually have maybe two books I'm kind of looking forward to.
Yeah.
But a lot of mine is like, you shouldn't buy this because
Right.
seeing some of the new stuff I'm talking about,
Yeah.
it's like I'm not buying it. So
Yeah.
Okay, let's go so we can. Of course, I think we'll be done by 10:15. So
True. Okay.
all right. Okay, let's see. Make sure
One
I'm
last-
recording.